Today we're going to enlighten you a little bit about somatic cell nuclear transfer. We are specifically going to focus on human or reproductive cloning. But before we start talking about that, here's a little bit background information.
This is Dolly the sheep. Dolly was the first successfully cloned animal in history, and even though she died of a lung disease and severe arthritis in 2003, it was still a great leap for scientists and researchers around the world. Dolly was a product of somatic cell nuclear transfer, specifically reproductive cloning. The SCNT technique can also be used for therapeutic cloning, but in this video the focus will be on reproductive cloning.
This type of cloning can have many different uses, but today there are laws and regulations prohibiting scientists from conducting further research on this topic. This is because of its ethical implications, the debates around it, and the lack of safety in this method. Some of its uses could be cloning same-sex couples or infertile couples so they can have children that resemble them.
The science behind reproductive cloning can be described in 6 steps. The first thing that happens is that the nucleus with the chromosomes is extracted from an egg cell, leaving it without a nucleus for the next step. In the second step, a somatic cell is extracted from the individual that is going to be cloned.
The DNA is taken out of the somatic cell and placed in the egg cell from step 1. Then chemicals or electrical stimulation is used to induce cell division in the zygote. This initiates the development of the embryo.
In the final step, the fertilized egg cell with a clonal embryo is placed in the surrogate who carries the pregnancy to term. The result of this is the genetically identical clone of the somatic cell donor.
But there are laws and regulations stopping scientists from doing anything more than theoretical research on the topic. Over 30 countries have banned human cloning for a number of different reasons, such as ethical debates and religious views and traditions. Many religious groups view it as artificial and would rather have the sexual reproduction over the reproductive cloning process, which is asexual.
Some countries allow stem cell research, but reproductive and therapeutic cloning has been banned under the joint category of human cloning. For example, the European Union does not support any research regarding human cloning. Therapeutic cloning is a different kind of cloning than the reproductive one and can be used to reduce recovery time after someone suffers a traumatic injury.
Since many laws and regulations prohibit both therapeutic and reproductive cloning, there's been little research in this field. Reproductive cloning could allow same-sex couples to have children that resemble them. If the laws were different, this could be an option for parents that are the same sex and want kids that are genetically related to them. Infertile parents could also benefit from this technology if there is no other option for them.
When or if the technology exists and there are no laws prohibiting it, reproductive cloning can be a sufficient way for these types of couples to have the same options as a heterosexual or fertile couples have. But this raises some questions. What rules should be put in place to decide what type of parents that are eligible for this kind of reproduction? There are parents that lose their young children because of accident, diseases, and other causes. So if same-sex couples and infertile couples are allowed to clone themselves to have children, should the parents that suffer the loss of a child also be allowed to clone their deceased child?
But before the laws and regulations are decided, further research has to be done. Because there are a lot of safety concerns around reproductive cloning today. There has been previous attempts on animals, like Dolly the sheep, but out of all the attempts, only a few has been successful.
Research shows that it has a 0 to 10% success rate. Spontaneous abortions are increased by 5 to 10 times in cloned fetuses, and the decaying of organs speeds up significantly. Reproductive cloning has not been advanced to the point where organisms can be cloned without the risk of health implications.
The experiments conducted with the SCNT method on animals have proven to have low efficiency and a high percentage of clones have developed abnormalities, such as poor health, or reduced intelligence compared to the somatic cell donor.
SCNT is a method used in reproductive cloning. Relative success with reproductive cloning of animals, but the laws and regulations put in place today prevent scientists from doing further research on human cloning. Even though SCNT is a method that could help same-sex couples or infertile parents to have children that look like them, these laws prohibit any further research. Therefore, there are no guaranteed safety or enough developed technology around this type of science.